Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight, I'm joined by the members of the school counseling team, Marianne Flatley, our SEL counselor, Andrea Restrepo, SAS counselor, and Dr. Thomas Viviano, school psychologist. Tonight's program is to talk about the class of 2026 and 2027 updates and programming. I will, in a minute, turn the program over to Marianne Flatley. But before I do so, I wanted to just share some information regarding School Links. School Links is the program that the school has switched to this year from Naviance. It's a college and career program platform that allows for us to work with students through the 9 through 12 programming on career assessments, developing social emotional skills, and then continuing on through the college application manager and teacher recommendation platform. We began in September by onboarding our seniors and juniors, and then worked our way through the freshmen where they had the opportunity to complete Finding My Path and making the most out of high school, and then through the sophomore class where they worked on the career planner. You'll hear a little bit more about those assessments later on in the program as Ms. Flatley and Ms. Winston continue to share some information. So I'll now turn it over to Ms. Flatley, who will talk to you a little bit about the freshman class.
Thank you, Mrs. Connell. Good evening. Thank you for coming. I'm Marianne Flatley, and I am the K through 12 social and emotional counselor. As part of my work in the high school, I focus really on helping students transition to their freshman year. It's really been wonderful welcoming the freshman class to Pleasantville High School this year. We started off the year with our freshman orientation that is run by our trained student peer leaders who are juniors and seniors. The freshmen were able to become acclimated to the building. They were able to ask peer leaders questions. We ate lunch with one another and also the faculty, which was great. They also had the opportunity to run through their schedule. So they were able to meet their teachers while having the whole Pleasantville High School to themselves. This was really a great way for freshmen to do sort of a dry run so they could feel maybe a little bit more confident on the first day of school. A few weeks into school, peer leaders held a freshman ice cream social in the front circle with music and games. And this really allowed the peer leaders to reconnect with the freshman class. They were able to answer some more informed questions after freshmen were high school students for a few weeks then at that point. Freshmen also participated in our school-wide clubs and activities fair to learn all about the offerings at Pleasantville High School and really different ways to pursue their interests and passions outside the classroom. On PSAT Day in October, we welcomed the Harris Project, a community organization that focuses on teen wellness. Our peer leaders, some of our peer leaders who were not taking the PSAT that day, also helped facilitate this program, and freshmen had the opportunity to have different conversations that really centered making choices that support well-being and also really sort of clarifying their personal values during their high school experience. As part of the counseling program, freshmen also participate in advisory classes through their English and social studies classes. Advisories are really familiar to the class from their time in the middle school. In September, the advisory focused on, as Mrs. Connell mentioned, students being onboarded to School Links. They completed assessments, including Find Your Path, and this really helps students to think about and also identify some of their strengths, personality traits, and it really helps students to develop that sense of self-awareness that's really so important in high school, and that self-awareness will, continue to develop throughout the high school years. This freshman class learned a lot of skills in middle school in their health and advisories with middle school counselors using our universal curriculum, dialectic behavioral therapy, or DBT. Advisories in the high school allow me, I am the counselor who facilitates advisories, to help students really apply these problem solving skills to their freshman year. So, for example, in January, we will be discussing coping ahead for the midterm exams as part of our Wellness Week activities. In February, we will be discussing making wise schedule making decisions that really allow students to pursue their interests and really allows them to create balance, which is really so important for high school students to be able to make sure that they do create balance for themselves. Peer leaders will also help, facilitate these advisories, which can be very helpful for the freshmen to kind of hear from older peers. Counselors will be checking in with freshmen, as report cards with first marking period grades have been posted to eSchool. For students who are encountering any challenges, counselors will be talking to them about potential adjustments to their schedule, perhaps, and different academic supports to really ensure that students have success. Ms. Winston will be providing more information about those academic supports in a few moments. In February, students in the freshman class will be meeting with their individual counselor to really review their academic progress and to choose their courses for sophomore year, which is really a very collaborative process between teachers and students and counselors and families. So at this point, I want to hand the program over to Ms. Winston, who will be able to provide information about our sophomore programs.
Thank you, Ms. Flatley. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share some updates with you about our career exploration and self-discovery activities for the sophomore class of 2026. I'd like to begin by telling you about School Links, which Mrs. Connell has already touched upon. We've recently onboarded this new platform, which is a comprehensive tool for college and career planning. School Links is designed to help students understand their strengths, interests, and potential career paths. The career assessment tool is intuitive, and it provides personalized insights, making it easier for students to align their academic choices with their future career aspirations. Moving on to leadership opportunities, our sophomore students were invited to interview for the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Seminar. This seminar is unique. It's a unique opportunity for our sophomores to develop their leadership skills, meet inspiring expert leaders, and understand the responsibilities that come with being a good leader. It's an excellent platform for personal growth and networking. 3 students were recently selected to attend the seminar, which will take place this June at Adelphi University. On November 17th, the counselors brought 130 sophomore students to the Career Conference at Southern Westchester BOCES. This event was a huge success. Students had the opportunity to interact with professionals from over 30 career fields, attend workshops, and gain insights into different career paths. It was an enlightening experience for everyone involved that day. By now, students that sat for the October 18th digital PSAT exam should have received their online score reports from the College Board. With the release of these scores, we are inviting you to attend a webinar on December 20th at 8 p.m. In this live presentation hosted by Revolution Prep, you'll learn how to use your PSAT results to identify not only whether to take the SAT or ACT, but also how to build your child's best plan for success. For those interested, we'll be sending out the link to register later this evening. Don't hesitate to reach out for help, be it through teachers, peer tutors, or after-school sessions. We're here to help you succeed. Lastly, I would like to mention the importance of getting involved in clubs, activities, leadership, and service. Engagement in these areas is not only about building a strong college application. It's about developing life skills, discovering passions, and making a positive impact in your community. Colleges look for students who are well-rounded, committed, and have demonstrated leadership and service. Involvement in these activities helps students stand out and tells a story about who they are beyond their academic achievements. In the spring, counselors will be going into sophomore classes to help students begin to develop their resumes further. Highlighting the importance of getting involved outside the classroom, we encourage all our sophomore students to take full advantage of these opportunities. Utilize the career exploration resources in the School Links platform. Engage in clubs and leadership activities, and be proactive in your academic planning. These experiences will not only enrich your high school journey, but also lay a strong foundation for your future endeavors. Remember, we are here to support you every step of the way. Thank you for your time. I'll now pass you on to our next speaker, Student Assistance Counselor, Andrea Restrepo.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Restrepo, the Student Assistance Counselor at the middle school and high school. Student Assistance Services is a substance abuse prevention agency. I am a social worker, and Pleasantville Middle School and High School are 2 of 51 schools in Westchester County that partner with Student Assistance Services. As the Student Assistance Counselor, I am a confidential resource for both students and family in Pleasantville. While we know that most teens don't use alcohol and other drugs, we know that teens can be vulnerable to turn into substance use because of social and emotional factors in adolescence. So it's important to reduce risk factors and boost protective factors. In grades 7 through 12, I provide short-term, confidential, individual, and small group counseling for many issues that students face. I receive referrals from families, friends, parents, guardians, faculty, staff, and students who self-refer. I participate in the child support team meetings in the middle school and high school to discuss and plan interventions for students. When students need additional resources, I refer to school personnel, school counselors, school psychologists, or partner with families to connect with outside providers. I provide consultations with and educational programming for faculty and parents. Partnering with faculty and families is key to my role as student assistance counselor. Research shows that perceived parental disapproval is the #1 reason teens give for making good choices about using alcohol and other drugs. So even when teens seem like they're not listening, they are. An important part of my role as the student assistance counselor is to advise a student wellness club. Since Sources of Strength is well established at Pleasantville High School, I am now the primary adult advisor. Sources of Strength holds school-wide health promotional activities related to teen wellness and healthy life choices. I am looking forward to the rest of the year. Thank you. I will now pass it off to Mr. Marone, who is our school counselor in our alternative educational program and the NCAA coordinator. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Happy to be here tonight. Thank you. Really quick before I get into alternative education and what that looks like is that I am the NCAA coordinator in Pleasantville. And without going too much into detail, I want to offer the opportunity for anybody who thinks their student may down the line want to play a college sport. At the Division I or II level, there is a separate transcript and requirement called the NCAA Eligibility Center. And what that is outside of New York State or Pleasantville High School regulations, there are certain qualifications and coursework that you may need to meet. Most of our courses at Pleasantville do fulfill, but there are separate pathways. So if anybody has a student that may be looking to go that route, please send them in my direction. I'm in the counseling office, and also I'm in always around the school. Now, a little bit about alternative education. It is a specialized program at the high school level for general ed students requiring support in a variety of ways. The program consists of students from different grade levels and, it's a level of support that's provided after a collaborative process of intensive meetings and interventions. Some of those previous interventions may include, but are not limited to, working with school psychologists, meeting with teachers, attending the after-school AIS support program, and working individually with teachers. Through a collaborative effort between all faculty members, we work to identify students who may be struggling and in need of some extra support or skill building work at the building level. Much of the work that happens in this program is to help the student better prepare themselves for achieving success in the classroom. The program's not typical for ninth graders and is not a self-nomination process. It is the result of a number of meetings and prior interventions, as well as data collection and collaboration between many adults in the building. At this point, I'd like to turn the presentation over to one of our grade school psychologists, Tom Viviano, who will tell you a little bit about some of the psychology services and supports.
Hi, everybody. First of all, it's so nice to be here tonight with all of you. I'm new here this year, but I'm not new to Pleasantville. I actually was an intern myself there about 11 or 12 years ago at this point. So it's nice to be back. So we'll just give a quick overview of the psychological services that we have in the high school. A lot of it was touched upon already by the folks who spoke previous to me. But I want to just kind of lay out again what it's comprised of. So the team itself is myself, plus we have 4 fantastic doctoral interns who are in their graduate training and are here to support not only what we do in the department, but all of the students and all of the faculty. So when I speak about what I do, I also want you to consider that I have a great team doing that as well. So the primary intervention that I supervise and conduct myself is obviously individual counseling with students, and that includes all students. So not only students with IEPs who might have that on their goal or social emotional goals, or 504 students who have some counseling support. Really, I like to send the message that counseling is available to all students who might be in need. And the focus, as I think Marianne touched upon, I personally come from a training of having a lot of DBT training. So a lot of what we try to do in a school is impart upon our students some really practical life skills that they can take with them as they go through school and then beyond. So a lot of instruction and practice around emotion regulation, distress tolerance, interpersonal effectiveness, all those problem-solving skills that we think are really important for them to take with them and carry on. I'm also deeply involved, as also was outlined kind of earlier, with consultation and collaboration with parents, teachers, faculty, administrators, really about anything that might come up that might, benefit from a psychology lens. So with that said, parents out there, if you have any concerns or at all, please feel free to reach out to myself or your student's counselor. And we all work so collaboratively. If you can picture where the guidance suite is, I'm just down the hall. So we're all kind of near each other, which is really nice because we get to, collaborate and share information about students and best support them in that way. I'd also like to give a shout out to the after school program, which, previous schools that I've worked in didn't have anything like this. And I think it's fantastic. So not only do students have the content area teachers, which I know has been in place in the past, what I thought would be helpful for this year and beyond would be to have someone from my department to be there to sort of help students with that more global executive functioning piece. So the kids who have trouble with initiating tasks or organizing or planning and following through, more of those broader skills that are so crucial to high school, especially as you get in the older grades where that's, the critical skill in a way. We're going to be there in the library those 2 days and providing that support. So I want to give a plug to that. Please have your students either talk to their counselor about it, or feel free to reach out to myself or your student's counselor to learn more about that. I think that's going to be a really nice component to that program going forward. Otherwise, again, feel free to contact me. I'm really excited to be a part of this team, and I look forward to the rest of the year. I'll turn it back to Ms. Connell, I think.
Yes, thank you so much. At this time, I'm actually going to ask everybody if they would turn on their screens. And I'd like to invite anybody who's viewing the webinar to either submit a question through the Q&A or, obviously tomorrow you're welcome to call any of us and speak with us regarding some of the information we shared tonight. It's as you can see, a vast group of professionals who really work, as we've said many times throughout the presentation, collaboratively. We meet as a team each week. We share ideas. We troubleshoot for, instances where we need some more support within our team. We also work with the school nurse. We're very involved with the administrative team, as well as the teachers, the coaches, and other, people in the building. So I want you hopefully to reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns regarding your child, if you're looking for more information. Allie, I see we have a couple of questions. Did you want to open up your, thank you.
So we have a question about students that are new to the district. Do they get an introduction to Schoology and related required platforms and or tutorials on how to use these accounts and how to access them?
Sure. So depending on when a student enrolled in school, if they were early in September, all students had the same opportunity. If they've just recently joined our school, I would certainly encourage them to reach out to their school counselor, maybe make an appointment with her and, discuss the questions that they have regarding Schoology. We will continue throughout the year to go into classes. Ms. Winston explained that in the sophomore class, we'll be heading out in the spring to do some resume work with the students. We'll continue some other work with the freshmen in the spring. We also have opportunities to meet with the students individually. So anybody who's interested in learning more about the platform, and we're not popping into classes relatively soon, please make an appointment with your counselor and she can go through it with you.
So we have another question about the executive functioning coaching in the library, which Dr. Viviano mentioned during the Tuesday, Thursdays after school support. Do the kids need to sign up for that? Do they just show up? What's the protocol?
So I think it's the same for, not only our piece, but also the teachers. Students are encouraged to just show up. There's no sign up ahead of time. If there's any question about who do I talk to or who do I go to, please have your student reach out to their counselor and then they will connect them to myself. And I can connect them in turn to who I think is going to be, or I know is going to be there on any given day. So yes, it's open to all students and they don't need to have even necessarily a clear plan of what they want to do, right? I think that's the whole point. We would love for them to just say, I need help figuring this out. And then, maybe it's only a matter of 10, 15 minutes, come up with an action plan and then go from there. So no sign up ahead of time is needed.
So that's all I have for now in the Q&A. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to input them. And if you'd like to ask questions privately, please feel free to email your child's counselor and we'd be happy to answer them individually.
And as Ms. Winston mentioned earlier, tomorrow when I do post the presentation, I will include information about the registration for the PSAT Zoom. It has gone out, I believe, at least twice on previous email notifications. And we do share things with the students as well through their Schoology platforms. So that's also another place where you might locate it, but I will send it out again tomorrow. After the new year, we will actually start our process of transitioning the 8th grade students over to the high school, and then we will begin the course selection process for the underclassmen. So we'll be moving already into that process very soon, even though we're only 1 quarter into the school year. As many of the team members have mentioned, the students have really gotten off to a great start, but there are some opportunities for them, you know, after school or even individually to get support through NHS or other tutoring options in the district. So if they need that, please reach out to your counselor. And I think it's important to mention, most importantly, the first point of contact I always believe is the teacher. If you've not heard from your teacher, reach out to the teacher and check in with them, see how your child's doing and see what they can offer as after school support. All of our faculty are present during activity period. And it's an opportunity for students to meet with their teachers individually or in small groups to get extra help directly from them. So I think that's important to mention. Any last parting words from the members of the team, or do we have any more questions, Allie?
Yes, just one more last question. I think it was just in reference to the executive functioning sessions. Have they started already? So they'll be occurring simultaneously with the Tuesday, Thursday program. And any further comments, Dr. Viviana, that you'd like to add?
No, we kicked it off this week, and so my goal is to have, right now we have somebody who can do it consistently on Tuesdays, and then we're gonna find someone in my department to do Thursdays shortly. But right now it's already started, so Tuesdays for sure, and then definitely the goal being on Thursdays as well.
Great. Okay, well, I think that's the end of our presentation tonight. As I said, it will be posted to the school's YouTube channel. We will continue to send information out via emails and through Schoology, and we look forward to seeing you at our future programs. Thank you all for joining us tonight.